I did find your mute button. I did find your mute button. That always helps, doesn't it? Can you all hear me okay? Because I've got my AirPods in.
Yeah.
Fabulous. That's what I like. So, a lot of people don't know about me is actually I'm a fully qualified chef. I actually have the chef whites, but I'm not wearing them today, and everything to prove it. So yes, I do like to think I know what I'm doing when it comes to the kitchen. Also, you are on my gimbal, so I'm going to try and show you things as I go along because I didn't realize how impractical this kitchen is for cooking demos, but we'll get there. So what I am doing you today is literally showing you what you can do with a tin of tuna. And the reason I'm doing this was I was brought up by my mum and my dad basically to say that always have something in the cupboards prepared for if someone turns up unplanned, so you can cook them a meal. And I always got taught little things about what you can do in the cupboards. Tin of tuna is one of them. And I do believe, personally, not what I got taught, have a backup good tin of tuna in the cupboard, just at the back. Just don't worry about it. You're not going to eat every day. Just a good tin of tuna. So I just went and bought the John West tuna ones in sunflower oil. The reason I've chosen the oil ones is in particular because we are frying today. So it's got the fat there. We've got the oil in there as well. So it means I don't have to put as much oil in the pan. Even though I'm using non-stick, it does help a little bit more. So these fish cakes, I'll be honest, they are a Gordon Ramsay recipe and they are an absolute godsend. They are an absolute godsend. So you don't just have to do it with tuna. You can do it with tinned salmon, anything like that. Preferably a flaky fish. You don't want something extremely oily. That's why I got this in oil. But yes, it's really, really good. So it's a Thai spin. So it's literally tuna. Bear with me when I move this. There you go. We've got tuna, we've got water chestnuts, we've got ginger, we've got chili. That way. We've got, there we go, people. We've got chili, we've got lime, we've got spring onions, we've got loads of coriander, and 2 eggs. That is literally it. That's all that's going in this recipe. So what I will do is happily, by the way, please take yourselves off mute. If you want to ask me any catering questions or anything like that about actually being a chef or any tips and tricks, hopefully I'll be able to answer them. Because I'll be honest, this is literally like a proper 20-minute recipe, and it's literally just going to be me chopping, throwing it together in a pan, and then frying it. So any questions you've got, because I've got a couple of tips and tricks of things you should also in the back of your cupboard. So I'm going to move that back up. That's the way. So yes, basically, it's really, really good. It's a really good recipe, and I absolutely love doing it. It's so simple, and it's really good for when you're going for like like a picnic or something like that, or you want to take something a bit extra because you can eat them cold. Tuna, it's already cooked, even though you're just reheating it. It's absolutely fine. So I just love it. I just love it. Absolutely love it. You could also have this. Charlotte, take yourself off mute. Say I'm going to ask you. You could also have this with kicking coriander, couldn't you?
You could, but you've run out.
I know I've run out. All right, leave me alone. It's one of them. But no, it was one of them when Charlotte said she was booked on today. It is perfect. I will happily plug the kicking coriander. Because since you don't have to cook with it, and this really, other than the egg, you're only frying it to just make them slightly crispy. You're not really doing much else with it. So it's really, really simple. So
I was going to say, the kicking coriander would have saved you having to chop the coriander.
It just would. It really would. But the reason I like putting these in, especially the water chestnuts. So the water chestnuts, you can literally get these anywhere. They're like £1.50 a tin. Once again, just keep them in the back of the cupboard. Because sometimes if you're just cooking something Asian style or like a stir fry or something like that, and you're missing one of them ingredients, it's really good for just keeping in the back of the cupboard for you to be able to throw in. It's really handy. So literally in this big jug, I've just put literally a couple of tins of the tuna. I'll keep one to a side because it's actually quite bigger than what I thought. And then I'm going to be putting about 4 water chestnuts in. So you're just going to chop them up really finely. You want a bit of bite. You want a bit of bite because when you buy them, they are already cut. And if no one has had water chestnuts before, they're really crunchy. They've got a really, really good bite to them. Really, really good for you. And especially these ones because they're kept in spring water. So it doesn't mean they're going to be kept in loads of horrible like brine or anything like that. Yes, Debbie, I love water chestnuts as well. But some people aren't that much of a fan of them. Like, and I don't know why. Like, it's really one of them. Does anyone have any like favorite Asian recipes or anything along them lines that they like cooking at home? Like, at all? Please take yourself off mute and tell me. Kitty, you're nodding, so tell me. Thank you.
Chow mein.
Homemade chow mein?
Yeah.
Ooh, I've not done a homemade chow mein.
Is that in your Thermomix, Kitty?
No, I've made this for years. So I've just put in the comments. I buy like the tinned water chestnuts. I buy tinned bean sprouts as well.
Yeah,
and they're just in water, because if you buy a bag of bean sprouts, they go off so quickly. It was a nightmare. So I thought, right, I'll have a tin in the cupboard. So I would do chicken, marinate it in soy sauce, garlic, ginger, and anything else that I can find, possibly usually oyster sauce as well, or fish sauce, and leave it in the fridge for a couple of hours, and then stir fry that off with some noodles and the bean sprouts and any other bits. It's dead easy.
Yeah, that's literally Asian cooking, which is why I love it. Not just with like kicking coriander. It can be so simple and so easy. And that's why I love it. It's one of my go-tos. And also where I live now. When I say I live next to, I'm literally attached to an Asian supermarket. That's what's on the other side of that wall. So it's great. I love it. It's great. So yeah, with these spring onions, I'm literally just cutting them into the rings. So literally just topping and tailing them, just cutting them, not doing anything fancy. Just when I move that jug, just into literally rings down the side of it. The reason why is because the tuna is already quite mushed up because it's tin. You do have to take that into the equation even when cooking it, because there's not much solid in there. So when you cook it, they do get a little bit mushy. So you need to add these in for a bit of texture, a bit of crunch, and everything like that as well. And they do keep it nice and fresh. So ginger, if people didn't know this, does anyone know the easiest way to peel ginger?
Teaspoon.
Give me a nod. Teaspoon. There we go. You see, literally the spoon, just run it down it and it just peels it all off. If you use a knife, you just get so much waste and it's really ridiculous. Like, it's absolutely mad. And also garlic, if when you're cutting garlic, if you just cut the root off and then put it in a tub, if you're using several cloves, just cut the root off, leave the skins on, don't mess around, put them in a tub and shake them, all the skin comes off. And it's a real time saver if you are cooking with a lot of garlic. Like, I have a 60 clove garlic chicken, and it's not that garlicky, believe it or not. There might be 60 cloves, but it's not that bad, and it's really good.
I know an
easier way. You what? Sorry.
I know an easier way to peel your garlic.
Just buy a lazy garlic.
No, you just whack it in the sandwich.
Hey, thank you, Kate. Thank you, Katie. I was going to just say that.
Don't forget, if everyone doesn't have a thermometer, then they're not going to be able to. But that is an easier way. So we've been saying about the ginger. I'm literally going to cut into thin rectangle slices. So it's literally down the middle, down again, and then I'm going to cut them into little squares. Just once again, so you can have that bite in there, and then it's not overpowering that you've got too much ginger in each bite. So, and this is about a 3 centimeter, so a big thumb worth. Basically, so we've had 3 spring onions, 2 tins of tuna, and then about a big thumb worth of ginger. Obviously, please do that to your liking. I do like ginger, so I do like a lot of ginger in there. It's really, really good. So one of the other things that I like having in the back of the cupboard, and I actually bought one because I didn't have them in the new flat. I know you can't see my face, but at least you can hear me. Is a tin of potatoes. Don't judge me, right? Tin of potatoes. And I only learned this about 2 years ago. And it's really, really good. And once again, if you're cooking for a few people like Sunday dinner, and if you've got children, the friend ended up staying over for Sunday dinner, you've not got enough roast potatoes or anything, they're already cooked. So all you need to do is just throw them in a roasting tin. I personally like them. I was saying this to Charlotte earlier. When you go into like TK Maxx or anywhere like that, or even if you're having it all, just a little bit of saffron. I understand it's not going to be the amazing top of the end stuff because it's like more expensive than gold. But if you do buy saffron and put that on with maybe a little paprika or something like that on them, and then just roast them, it's so, so good because they're already soft. So it's literally like the part boiled potato that you're already wanting. It's amazing. I love the fact all you can see is my hand. You can't see my facial expressions. I feel like a hand artist. Like, episode on Friends where he's got his hand twin. Sorry, just a millennial moment. I'm going to put a couple more water chestnuts in because compared to everything else, there's not that many of them in there.
Cool.
But yeah, it's really good. Have any views on non-stick pans? Does anyone not like a non-stick pan? I can't see everyone's hands up, so if you don't like one, please just unmute yourself.
It depends if the black stuff's coming off them.
Yeah, so a lot of people think the non-stick pans are the devil. That is the correct term because up to a certain heat, but when I say a certain heat, I mean it has to be ridiculously high. All the protective coating starts coming off and it's really toxic. But then to an extent, you're still going to be cooking your food on a toxic thing, even if it's not going in your food. Like, think about it. So today I'm just going to be using a cast iron griddle pan. Brand new. I actually bought it for today. So it's really cool. But yeah, so I'm also putting in 1 chili. Depends how much kick you want to put in into it. Me, because I do like spicy food, but I don't want spicy food at 11 o'clock in the morning. So I'm not going to absolutely pile it up with chili in there. And once again, just doing it really kind of chunky to give it a bit of a bite. And then kind of literally that's it. So in the bowl, I've got, as you can see, quite colourful. Then I've got the spring onion, the garlic, the chili, and the water chestnuts, the tuna. With it being the oil one again, I've got 2 eggs. I might only put 1 in because it's got that fat in there already. That's probably going to hold it together. And then I do like to say sometimes, not just a dipping sauce, sweet chili sauce. If you don't like it, grow up. Secondly, it's it's a really good extra just ingredient into the fish cakes. It just makes them a little bit tangy, makes them a little bit sticky in the middle as well, depending on how much you put in there. It's a really nice little, I am going to say it's a bit of a cop-out because as well, from a catering point of view, if you're trying to rush, this has got about 3 or 4 of the ingredients that you wanted to put in the fish cakes in it. A bit like kicking coriander, to be honest. So, you know, it's really, really good for that. So coriander, I'm literally going to be quite generous with this. I'm going to make a quick dipping sauce afterwards as well. Because like I said, these are great for picnics and things like that. So the dipping sauce, if you can just throw that into a tub and take that with you, it's once again, really, really fresh. It's absolutely amazing. Yes, sweet chili sauce is exceptional with halloumi. I believe that's what that was meaning because I can only see part of the comment. But sweet chili sauce and halloumi, I used to work at Nando's. So I used to get like free chicken and then the halloumi all the time. It was very good. It was exceptional. I won't deny that. So the coriander, I'm literally just going to do really, really rough stalks and all. Don't waste them. Throw them all in. In that right, Charlotte? Don't waste the stalks. Just throw them all in together. You don't mess about with that. I used to hate coriander because I used to think it tasted of fresh air. Like I just absolutely hated it. It was really one of them. So got my really big jug. Like I said, everything's in there. It's going to crack 1 egg in, and then I'll judge it by there whether I need the second one. You know, when I said that this recipe was really, really easy, I really wasn't joking. And then literally just mix it all up. Like you said, you don't have to be really gentle because the tuna is already broken up. And it's quite good for just doing it. It literally just ends up balling together. If you want to add a bit more texture to it, you can add, like for example, I was tempted to put a couple of the tinned potatoes in there with it, give it a bit of texture, helps it bind a little bit more, but then they become quite heavy. This is the original recipe. If it was also possibly doing it for quite a few more people to bulk it out, I would maybe put some breadcrumbs in there. When you're doing Asian food, I would recommend panko breadcrumbs over normal breadcrumbs because they are a lot better, they're a lot finer, they're just nicer in general. So yeah, literally just bind it all together. I am going to add a little bit of sweet chili. Oh, it's a new bottle. Tell I've gone all out for this, can't you? A little bit of sweet chili in there. And remember as well, when you're cooking, without me sounding really patronizing, because most of you will probably already know this, is the more liquid you add in, you've got to take that into consideration, especially when you're frying, because it will just tend to mush. Like you really, really do have to take that. And then it really doesn't look appetizing, or does it? Like, if you took the egg out, you could literally just eat that on top of a jacket potato, just saying. Like, there you go. So whilst the pan's getting hot, other way, Kallum, there we go. So whilst my pan's getting hot, because it is cast iron, so it's going to take forever, does anyone have any questions for me or anything so far, or about catering? By all means, because we did start the foresight like a bit early, so I really want prepared. So like, let's go. Anyone, take yourselves off mute. Please don't put it in the chat.
Sorry, Kallum, I got started early. That's my fault.
No, it's all right. It's fine. Don't you worry. I can fill up the time. It's me. I can talk for bloody England, honestly.
That's what I thought.
But no, also just putting a squeeze of lime in as well, just to give it that extra kick of freshness. Once again, really important, keeping it all fresh and lovely. So, Debbie, I tell you what, since I heard your voice, what's your normal go-to Asian food? Do you eat a lot of Asian food?
Yeah, I just love a really simple Thai green curry. Love it. Love a Thai green.
I do love a Thai green curry. I actually had Thai green curry last week. I absolutely love it. And once again,
I actually love it as a vegetarian meal rather than putting any chicken or fish or anything in. I just like it with loads and loads of different mushrooms and veg and the best.
Yeah.
But
Oh, love it. So yeah, it's once again, these are just one of them great things. And it's when I used to be a waiter for a really fine dining restaurant. Don't know why they give it a job, fine dining. Come on now. And they took me to do the outside catering event that they had, and they did something similar to this, but they also did mini Yorkshire puddings with beef in. But I thought they made them. I was like, great scale. They bought the Aunt Bessie really small Yorkshire puddings, put a bit of beef and horseradish in them for canapes. Yeah, they was charging about £55 a head for just like things like that. Kitty, your face, you're like, huh? And that was, if you've no one other than Kitty or Sheena will actually know what I'm on about. In Hull, there's a big business called Arco, and they make health and safety wear. And it was at the head of Arco. It's like the biggest in Europe. It was at, I was going to say, Charlotte, you'll know what I'm on about. They basically said, oh yeah, that's fine, blah, 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 come cater at our event, head of Arco. And I keep saying Arco, honestly, Google it, it's a big company. And we went to that event, and he ended up figuring out how much was ripping him off, because his wife was like, I buy them little Yorkshire puddings for my grandkids. So when you're spending £55 a head, you don't really want to hear that.
No.
Go on, Kitty.
Buying Yorkshire puddings. They're like the easiest thing to make ever.
Yeah, but it's because there was the small ones, so they're perfect for canapes. Whereas if you make them yourself, you can't really control how high they grow, how big they grow. It's really one of them. Honestly, I've got some right tales from catering.
Kallum.
Kallum, I was going to ask, do you prefer blinis or mini Yorkshire puddings?
Ooh. I probably like a bellini because you can just do way more with it. You can put so many other things on top of a bellini. I also like a good vol au vent.
Oh, who doesn't?
Who don't like a good vol au vent? I do like a good vol au vent, got to admit. But yes,
I'm disappointed that you're in South Yorkshire basically, and you've just said you don't like Yorkshire puddings.
I do like Yorkshire puddings. I mean, East Yorkshire. I'm not from South Yorkshire.
Well, whatever.
I mean, yeah. Right. So my pan's got quite hot. Like I said,
You live in Hull, Kallum?
Yes, I'm in Hull, darling, for my sins. So what I'm doing is with this, like I said,
lived in Hull.
Oh, bless you. It's there's quite a lot of oil in it because of the fish, obviously. So I have squeezed a little bit of that out. So literally just pat it down flat. I did say these are going to be messy, okay? Because it is really soft fish. So literally just, oh, the sound. I feel like I'm on Ratatouille, when she squeezes the bread. Oh, it's the sound. I love it. I will show you the pan in a second. My hands are just covered in oil. Bear with me. Smells so good.
I know. I'm just thinking this is what I want now for lunch.
Yeah, it's really good as well because you've got the egg in there as well. So as well, actually, Lizzie, would you say from the ingredients I've said so far, this is good for quite a good diet? If anyone's on a good diet or anything like that.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Yeah, good. That's what we like to hear.
All the ingredients so far get my thumbs up.
Oh, good.
I think I'm going to make them for tea as well.
So if I move you onto my chopping board and then move you down. Like I said, it is a really hot pan, so I'm not going to constantly, I'm going to keep going down. I'm not going to constantly keep it on the heat because remember the tuna is cooked. All you want it to do is just kind of make it a bit crispy. He says when he tries to turn it over and it's really messy, it's really not going to do it. So I don't know why they're called fish cakes. It's more like a tuna turnover, if I'm really honest. But this is why, so some people, like I said, I don't really like the breadcrumbs in. If I do, I put panko in it. But if you don't put in any, it will bind it a lot more. You know what I was going to do? I was going to do, like on Art Attack, where they go, and then here's one I've prepared earlier. I was going to do that, so now you could have all the pretty ones, but I was like, no, because that's not true to how you really do turn out. So you do want that bit of char on it. It's really, really good. Oh my God, this new pan's amazing. Sorry, I'm just in love with my new pan. It's a Hairy Bikers one. I couldn't get any camper if I tried, but it's a Hairy Bikers pan, and I won't lie, I grabbed it and went, ooh, and ran to the till. So yes, it's literally just making sure that it's cooked right through. Remember, you've got to cook it right through, even though it's already cooked. You don't want to get food poisoning. We've got the egg in there, got the oil, so that's why I've not put any in. The pan is non-stick as well, but it is that high oil content of the fish that you just want to make sure you're keeping an eye on, because otherwise it will catch quite easily, especially with this being cast iron. It's a really, really, really hot pan. So it cooks really fast. I love it. That's why I like it. Yeah, so if you're doing it for friends and or family, I would genuinely put the breadcrumbs in, because it'll be easy for them to pick them up off the canapes and things like that, or off the buffet table, etc., etc. So bear with me.
Did you say you put potatoes in if you haven't got panko breadcrumbs?
Yeah, put potatoes in, by all means. The reason you put the potatoes in is because that's what you put in like traditional fish cakes, because it really and you can firm them a lot more and round them.
Yeah.
By putting the potato in there, it does make it like a lot easier as well, because you can mold them so much easier.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm going to try and make it semi-presentable on the plate. Bear with me.
And you forget it makes it much more economical.
Does it?
Yeah, if you're using potatoes, make more, can't you?
That is very true. That is very, very true. Right, so I'm just going to put them ones on. So this way.
Charlotte just
Now what?
loves the hairy bikers. She saw them filming in Bolton. I saw them filming just around the corner in Kallum, where I live, and I was like, "It's the hairy bikers." My husband was like, "Don't run over to them. Don't be embarrassing." I was like, "But it's the hairy bikers."
Honestly, absolutely love it. So wasn't going to do this unless we had time, so I am going to. I was going to make a really quick dipping sauce. I'm going to just move you all about there. So in the dipping sauce, when I say it's really simple, I mean like it's really simple. Literally, nice bowl. By the way, do you like my new bowls? It's not sponsored, but they are from Tesco. Good glug of white wine vinegar. I would say use rice wine vinegar, I believe it's called, but it can be even more acidic, so we don't really want that. So good glug of that. I'd also put sesame oil in. I'm not, because I really don't like it and I have got to eat this. So I'm not putting sesame oil in. I'd also put fish oil in. I don't like fish oil either. I'm not a picky eater. I just don't like them. It smells like crap. Really sorry. I'd also put, where's it gone? Bit of soy sauce, which I am going to put one in. That's at least Asian. So I've got the white wine, I've got the soy sauce. I'm going to put loads of coriander in there as well. So I'm going to put the leftover coriander. Really good squeeze of lime in there as well to make it a bit more sweet, really nicer. And then we're also going to put a bit of sugar in. If you don't eat a lot of Asian food, you might not realize, but a lot of Asian food does have sugar in. It just helps it all basically spread out a little bit more and just makes it a little bit more digestible, because they do really like their pickles, their brines, and everything like that. So they do like to put sugar in. A really good, no, sorry, let me start that again. Most stir fry and good stir fry sauces base is actually ketchup. That's what most bases are for a lot of Asian sauces, is ketchup. So they put ketchup in and everything like that. Like I love as well a homemade chili jam. If you've not made a homemade chili jam before, it goes with everything. It is literally chili flakes, cherry tomatoes, white wine vinegar. That's it. And sugar. Just throw that all in together. Once again, really, really good. So soy sauce, white wine vinegar, literally, I know I'm not showing you it, but it's as simple as this. I'm just throwing it into a bowl. Loads of coriander. When I say loads, I mean like you want more coriander than anything else, because then it'll stick to the fish cakes when you're eating it or pouring it over them. And then I've got my sweet chili sauce. I'm not going to put that in. I'll probably put that on the side. I would literally pour this on the top and bon appetit. I know it's not how you say it, bon appetit. But in a nutshell, guys, that is my easy fish cakes. Like I said, I've left a couple ingredients out, but I've told you the ones that I'd put in instead. Put the potato in if you want them to be able to be a bit more moldable. If you want them to just stretch out a bit more, put breadcrumbs on as well. If you put the breadcrumbs on and the potato, you can make them firm enough to actually pan fry them, make them quite thick. That's how you get them when they're from the supermarket or anything like that, or in restaurants. Got a potato and the breadcrumbs, then you can bang them in the oven. But why I like these is to just quick, simple, you can literally throw it together. And if you want an easy lunch, like I said, you can throw this on top of a jacket potato, on top of a salad, either cold or hot. If you want it cold, just leave the egg out. So there you go, that's me. And don't it won't hold. It won't hold up. Bear with. And when I say coriander, like literally the sauce is just on the coriander. So loads of coriander. There you go.
Yes. Thank you so much, Carol.
I made up a bit of the time for you. I did.